Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry, and I'm back.
He is back. And I'm Shannon. Betty White is here with us, and we're back for episode 84 of the Honor Avengers podcast. Jerry's back, y'all.
I'm back. I'm back with a vengeance. We are so excited for today's episode. It's all about DINKs.
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 If
That's just like saying it.
If you don't know what a DINK is, well, stay tuned.
Yeah, and as you may notice, this is a video podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Our wonderful virtual assistant, Cindy, has encouraged us to step outside of our box a little and make it video. We have heard from a few people, oh, you should make it video, but honestly, we just never really got it together. So this will be your first time on video. I interviewed Cindy on a video podcast. So here we are, folks, and we're excited about it.
Yeah.
Hopefully the editing won't be too hard for Cindy.
We're going to have a growth mindset and just go right along with it.
Yep. But first, before we get into this hot topic of dinks, let's get to our review of the week.
Baylove84 says, great show. Love the topics and the consistent inspo that the episodes give each week. Highly recommend.
Thank you, Baylove.
That's wonderful.
I wonder if Baylove84 is a Beyonce lover. She just loves, or he loves Bay.
Oh, I wouldn't have thought of that. That's a little bit more your kind of thing.
Maybe. I don't know, but either way, Baylove, thank you so much. It means a lot. If you all would like to support our podcast, please leave us a 5-star review or rating on the platform you're listening to us on. It helps to serve us up to others who may enjoy content like ours. And we just, will please that algorithm on whatever platform you're listening to us on. We'd appreciate it.
Well, today's episode is all about being a dink. We are often described as dinks, and we have referred to ourselves as dinks. So what are dinks? What is the Dink Life? Are dinks happier? We're going to spill the tea.
We are going to spill. Well, let's just start. If you came across us, maybe you are a dink, or maybe you're like, wow, I keep hearing about this word dink or dinks, and I don't know what it is. So we are going to tell you that
it's an acronym.
It is an acronym for
Dual Income No Kids.
It refers to a couple or partnership where both individuals are earning an income. They've chosen not to have children. The term originated in the late 80s. I'm not sure who actually originated it, but I know it started in the 80s, and it's become more prevalent as societal norms around family planning and lifestyle choices have evolved.
Yes, and choosing the Dink lifestyle is a personal decision and can be based on various factors, including career goals, financial considerations, and personal preferences. Some Dink couples may eventually decide to have children later in life, while others may choose to remain childless by choice and continue to enjoy the many, many benefits of the dual income lifestyle.
Yeah. So if you followed us on Instagram, you may have seen sometimes we use the hashtag Dink Life. And sometimes people are like, what is Dink Life? What is that? So we're going to get into all about what Dink Life is. We're going to first talk about the advantages and the challenges of being a Dink couple. Dinks or a Dink couple typically enjoys certain advantages, such as having more financial resources, as Jerry mentioned earlier, freedom to pursue personal interests and hobbies. They can focus on their careers more. They can travel more, invest in themselves, and explore, certain life experiences without the financial responsibilities and time commitment that comes with raising children.
Certainly, there's a lot to recommend there for being a dink. Being a dink, dual income, no kids couple comes with several advantages that can positively impact various aspects of life. Here are some of the key advantages of choosing the dink lifestyle.
Yep. So the first one we've mentioned a few times, and it's probably the most obvious. It's financial freedom. So, if you're a parent, you obviously know raising children costs a lot of money. When someone chooses the lifestyle of being a dink, they often have more disposable income. The financial freedom allows them to save more, invest in their future, and have experiences, all those other things that we talked about just a few minutes ago.
Another biggie, and one of my favorites, is career focus.
It's your favorite?
I think so. I think so, because dink couples can prioritize their careers without the added demands of parenting, Dink couples, they can change their careers every year if they want to.
That's true.
Yeah. there's not that fear of
Mm.
I got to keep a stable thing going. Well, I mean, you should have a stable thing going. I think you all know what I'm saying.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I
You can-
definitely get that. I think
You can experiment more.
Yeah.
You're
because I tend to make rash decisions, but when you're in a couple, you do go, oh, how is this decision going to affect the other person? But that is a little bit less pressure than how is it going to feed the mouths that we have at home. However,
Right.
Betty, who is laying just on the other side of this camera on the floor in her pita, would probably like to chime in and say, hey, please make good decisions because you need to feed me too.
I'm sure she's thinking that.
Mhm.
But, all in all, it does lead to more opportunities for career advancement, skill development, and achieving professional goals.
That's true.
Mhm.
Well, my favorite is the next one, flexibility and spontaneity.
Of course.
So Dink couples have greater flexibility in their daily routines, their schedules. They can make spontaneous decisions, plan last minute trips, enjoy impromptu outings without the need to coordinate around children's schedules. However, we are pet parents, and we do have to make sure that Betty's taken care of when we are making plans.
And
So-
we do it. We are doting pet parents.
We are very doting.
Mhm.
Like today, I
Yeah.
had to be out for more than half the day, and we coordinated. And
Mhm.
the other person came to check on her.
Yeah,
and
that was me.
yeah,
Yeah. Ate lunch on the road while I was driving.
that was you.
And
Yep,
just
and
had a road
it worked
lunch,
out.
came home.
So it is easier. But pet parents, we will just put in there that there is a caveat that if you're a pet parent, you do have to sort of coordinate things like that, like you are a human parent. But I still stick with there's greater flexibility.
Another biggie moving right along is quality time together. With fewer family responsibilities, Dink couples can devote more quality time to their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
They can nurture their emotional bond and build a strong partnership through shared experiences and activities.
We can. We do
Uh-huh.
have quality time together, and
We
we do
do.
love it. We
Mhm.
love our hashtag Dink Life.
Yeah, think how our true crime
Mm.
viewing on TV would suffer if we.
It would suffer a lot.
It would. Yeah,
when we watch some scary action films or some scary like American Horror Story stuff, Betty gets weirded out.
That's
Can you
true,
imagine
she
a
does.
kid?
Oh, yeah, that would be.
Ay, ay, ay.
Oh.
Well, Jerry mentioned this a little bit earlier, kind of about career stuff, but another advantage is the pursuit of personal interests. So Dink couples have the freedom to pursue passions and hobbies, can focus on personal growth, explore new interests, engage in self-improvement without constraints. You can go to a wellness retreat. You can take some courses of some things that, I don't know, if you want to learn how to knit, if you want to learn how to build a barn or for your cat colony out back, whatever you want to do, you've got more opportunity and time to do that.
That's right. You can knit baby socks for your friends' babies.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can do that. Anyway, but moving along, reduce stress and responsibilities. Raising
Mhm.
kids can be emotionally, physically, and spiritually demanding.
Mhm.
Big couples often experience lower stress levels and fewer day-to-day responsibilities, allowing for a more relaxed lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, we're not all dinks aren't just laying on the hammock. It is called double income, no kids. We do have to work.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I would say it's more relaxed. I was just talking to someone today who has kids, and we were talking about dinks. I was talking about how we're going to do this podcast, and she was asking me some questions, and I said, things work out for a reason, because I would not have been a very low-key parent. I would be absolutely anxious and stressed all the time. I'm anxious and stressed most of the time now, but can you imagine with kids? Like, I just think that there's some people who are great at being parents, and I think that I am a less stressed and anxious person by not being a parent.
Yeah, and it's great not to have kids. It's one of those, it's sort of a neutral.
That's true.
And I think we've made it work
That's
pretty
true.
good not having them.
Well, we did touch on this a little bit earlier, but it is a main advantage are travel opportunities. So traveling becomes more accessible and feasible for DINK couples. They can explore the world, immerse themselves in different cultures, embark on extended trips without the need to consider children's needs. You don't have to go on Disney cruises. You don't have to. We go on cruises without kids. Hello, Virgin Voyages. So yeah, the travel opportunities exist more, and the world is becoming more pet friendly, so we can travel with Betty a lot more. So that's nice.
Yeah, I think we've seen more examples of that in airports and whatnot of people traveling with pets. I feel I have.
We have lately.
In more recent times. Yeah, definitely have. Supporting causes and charities. Dink couples may have more time and resources to support charitable causes or volunteer for organizations they're passionate about, contributing to positive societal impacts.
Yeah, I think not that people who are not Dinks are not philanthropic, but I think that we can be more philanthropic, and we can, raise awareness and volunteer and donate to animal activist groups. We can be a lot more passionate and active in supporting causes and charities than we would be able to if we had kids.
And we have done a lot of that, especially with animal charities and stuff too.
Absolutely. And, thinking about that too, and going back to what you said about the career, we wouldn't have been able to have a business.
No.
Honor Adventures is our baby. We wouldn't be able to do this. Not saying other people can't. We would not be able to do this, and we would not be able to have our business.
That's right.
Yeah. So the next one is focusing on health and well-being. So with fewer family obligations, DINK couples can prioritize their health and their well-being. They can maintain an active lifestyle, dedicate time to exercise, prioritize mental and emotional self-care. I think about this one when I think about like our morning routine. Yes. You have your morning routine. I have my morning routine. I do share it with Betty, but I do know some people that cannot have their own morning routine because they're getting kids ready. They're getting up and taking care of the kids. So I did like that one. And I think over COVID too, you and I really honed in on our mental and physical wellness. And I think that was something we wouldn't be able to do as much if we had kids.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I think might be one of the things I've focused on more, not having kids. I think, well, why not take advantage of that time, instead of just saying, hey, I don't have enough kids, I'm going to sit around. So I think, well, really, it's a nice opportunity and a nice privilege to have that, where you can sort of focus on your well-being.
Yeah.
Well, I think beyond that, then strong social connections are also a flexibility of the Dink lifestyle allows more opportunities to build and maintain a wider network of friends and social connections. Dink couples can engage in various social activities and cultivate meaningful relationships.
Yeah.
And not that everybody can't do that, but once again, it's something you can, a little more flex room there.
I think a lot of times people, and we'll get in the disadvantages. I think a lot of times people, who have kids, they form these bonds with other parents, and they're like, oh, you have kids, I have kids, let's commiserate on this together. And I think that people look at people who don't have kids and say, well, there's no way, what are they going to bond with other people about? And what are their connections going to be? And the really great thing is that we can bond and have connections about things that don't involve our kids.
It probably diversifies a little bit more that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I talked about this earlier about, passions and hobbies, but lifelong learning. Dink couples have more time and resources to pursue continuous education and learning. I take classes all the time about, new things that are changing in Google and marketing. And I do those things on my own. And I surely wouldn't be able to do that if I had kids. And, it leads to more personal fulfillment, new skills, and you're just always learning,
Well, yeah. And we're big readers. I would, probably be reading Curious George 80% of the time instead of kind of diving into interest in learning them.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about the advantages. Let's get into the challenges of being Dinks. So do you want to start with the first one or me?
You can.
Okay.
You can move right ahead.
I think it's apropos because I'm a female and societal expectations. So Dink couples, especially women, may encounter pressure from family, friends, or the society to have children. Dealing with questions or criticism about their decision not to have kids can be emotionally challenging. So let's go with, I'm in my late 20s, early 30s. I had a shit ton of pressure on me about having babies, right? Wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, yeah. Which is
Nobody ever,
probably pretty typical.
but nobody ever got on you about it. They were getting on me about it.
No.
And
Yeah.
there was a period of time where we were like thinking, we're going to have to do this because that's what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, it didn't happen for us, especially when we were first like thinking, okay, I guess we need to try. And then it's like, because it wasn't happening for us immediately, we started thinking more, especially when it's like, well, you've got this option, you've got this option. And when it talked about going further, not that there's anything wrong with IVF or adoption, especially. I mean, yes, please do whatever you need to do if you want kids. We're not downing that. It did just make us think more. And then we started going, but wait a minute, why are we stressing about this? We're doing it for other people. We really weren't doing it for us.
No, I don't think at all.
And when we started having these deep conversations, we started realizing that having children was not something that was for us. We just, as a couple, didn't feel like to be fulfilled as a couple, as people, that we needed to have kids.
Yeah, no, I think it was a pretty quick turnaround too. We shook that idea off pretty quick and moved on to whatever else, and let it go. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. I hadn't thought about that in a while, but yes, we did just move right along, and we've never looked back on that one.
That's all right.
Another challenge for Dinks that Dinks face.
Dinks, yeah. Dink face.
Dink face. Yeah, Dink face. Oh boy. The trauma of middle school coming back to me now. Lack of family support. Without children, Dink couples may have fewer family members to rely on for support, especially as they age. This can make planning for their future care and well-being a little bit more complex.
Yeah. So one of the challenges a little bit later, but I guess we could just tie it in now, is like when you get older, elder care, without children to assist in your caregiving, it's like, we need to plan for our future. And so the lack of family support, it goes both ways. It's like you have some family members that are upset you didn't have kids, or, don't understand why you didn't have kids, but also family support. And yes, in the future of, Jerry and I feel like we, especially over the past few years, have really concentrated on our health, mental and physical. And the reason for that is, of course, longevity. We want to not only live longer, but we want to live full lives longer. And
I really just want to look better.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Well, no.
Okay.
Well, that's first.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well,
but I do care about the other things too.
Either way it works. But I think that, one of the things that we do think about, we joke about it sometimes. We joke like, well, we don't have kids, hope Marley and Hendrix are cool with, those are our nieces, are cool with taking care of us. But ideally, hopefully we don't need anyone to take care of us. Not all seniors have to go into some kind of care home or have someone come and visit them. Your dad is in his 90s and he's thriving.
Just thriving.
So
indeed, yeah.
Yeah. So I hope that for my parents, and I hope that we can thrive as we age as well, and not have to rely on anyone or have family support. But fortunately, we do have really great family support with our lifestyle these days.
We do. We do. Yeah.
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 I know I talked a lot on that one, but I'll just go to the next one. Loneliness or isolation. So as friends and peers start to have their children, which we went through that stage where a lot of our peers who we didn't think maybe were going to have kids had kids, and you sort of have different lifestyles. It's harder to relate to their parenting experiences. I've talked about this before too, that I left a lot of text chat threads that I got sick of being in because it was a bunch of parents and I didn't get it and I didn't understand their life and got out of it. And just like the other, if there was a text thread of a bunch of dinks and there's some parents in there, they might not understand our lifestyle either. So some people can find #Dink Life to be lonely or isolating. We do not.
Not at all.
No.
No, it's a non-issue.
Non-issue. But we did want to make sure that it is a challenge for some dinks.
I think we've kind of dipped into this one a little bit, identifying purpose.
Mhm.
Parenthood often provides a sense of purpose and fulfillment for many people. And I think we were saying we found a lot of purpose through being active with animal
Yeah.
care and causes, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think I have a little bit of an activist mindset anyway, but not like I've really delved into a lot of things. But yes, there were the animal related things. We've kind of found purpose in that. Dink couples may need to actively seek other sources of meaning and fulfillment in their lives, like we have with that.
Yeah. Being philanthropic, or even just, I think that, we get some trolls, it's hard to believe, right? We do get some
Yeah.
trolls, and they often will comment if we talk about being a dink couple about how selfish we are for not having kids. And I have never once in my life thought I'm selfish for not having kids. In fact, I thought it was a smart thing to do for a child was to not have a child. I think it's selfish to have children, to rely on them to show you love. I think it's selfish when you know you're not capable of being a parent and you have a child. So having your purpose in life being that you're here to procreate, I think is pretty shallow thinking, when other people think that we're being shallow for deciding not to have kids.
It's a little dated.
It is dated. It is dated. Another challenge is balancing careers with personal life. With no children to prioritize, dink couples can face unique challenges like finding a healthy work-life balance. I completely relate to that. Ensuring that our personal relationship remains a priority. When you don't have kids and something depending on you, you can often work and work and work and work.
Yeah.
And then going, oh, well, there was nothing really to stop me. There's no kids to stop me that need my attention, but Jerry and Betty need my attention.
Yeah. And I think we have made a good effort to make sure our personal relationship is more time is spent on that. Without having
we
kids,
are so much better. Like on the weekends, not opening the laptop, not having our phone constantly, and making that time to have no tech time.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We've done a pretty good job with that. Well, despite these challenges, dink couples can also build rewarding, fulfilling lives by focusing on their shared goals, nurturing their relationship, fostering social connections, and finding alternative sources of purpose and satisfaction. Ultimately, the decision to be a dink couple should align with their values, aspirations, and desires for the future.
That's right. That's right. It's their decision. If they know the challenges and they know the advantages, let them make their own decisions.
Yeah.
I think we should maybe share a few famous dink couples.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, the first one, Oprah and Stedman. I mean, is there a better couple who is more philanthropic, who proudly represents that they don't have children and didn't want kids?
You're going to end the show with that, right? Even though there's
We're done.
a long list.
We're
That's
done.
it, ladies and gents. Drive safely.
No, the second one I do love. I do love
the second one too. Yeah, they're both of those. Those are your two.
They are.
Your two biggest. What would you call those?
Dink couples.
Yeah. Well,
my faves.
Yeah, your faves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you want to tell them the second one?
Alan Ludden and Betty White.
Betty White.
Alan Ludden was the host of the game show To Tell the Truth.
Password.
Password from in the 1960s, and Betty White was.
And I only knew about it because of Betty White, and they met on that show.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know it firsthand. I'm just saying I know this information.
They did not have children.
Yeah.
Now, fun fact: Alan had kids from a previous marriage, but Alan and Betty never had kids. Betty White never had kids.
Yeah, and she was probably a really good stepmom to them.
I heard that she was.
Yeah.
Nick Offerman, very funny, and Megan Mullally, very funny. They're a very funny couple. We love them, and they decided not to have children. And they're double income, no kids.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good one. You say this one because this is one of your favorite.
Ina
people.
Garten. If you guys watch Food Network, you know the Barefoot Contessa. So Ina Garten and her husband Jeffrey. I did have to look this one up because I was like, does Jeffrey work? Jeffrey does work. He actually used to be
on the car in the driveway.
No, he used to be like a Secretary of Commerce or something under Bill Clinton.
Oh.
But he is, he does still do consulting and things like that. But he does work but they decided not to have kids. And Ina Garden made a comment one time that, it's personal choice. We have the choice to go one way or another. We decided to live a life with no kids because we wouldn't have been able to pursue the passions that we have. And I love that.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. And
Mhm.
good for them. And Seth Rogen, that's one of I do like him a lot. Seth
Yeah.
Rogen and his lovely wife, Lauren Miller,
They decided not to have kids.
decided not to have kids.
And they're double income, no kids.
Lots of laughs around their house.
Right. Right.
With that guy.
Lots of laughs around our house too.
Yeah.
With this one.
He probably actually likes he probably doesn't like to laugh around the house all the time because it's his job.
Well,
So around the house, he's probably watching like serious stuff on TV.
Well, I
all
tell
the
you,
time.
another fun fact, he makes pottery and
There's nothing fun about that.
he smokes a lot of weed. So he makes a lot of bongs. He makes a lot of ashtrays.
I was going to say, yeah, he's got to have somewhere to snuff out.
And he sells them and donates the money to charity.
That's pretty. That's really interesting.
Right?
I didn't know that.
Look, there's plenty of people.
Hanging out with you, I learn a lot.
I know. There's plenty of people out there who chose not to have kids, couple partnerships. We just need to normalize this, people. I mean, but there's a lot of individuals too, really cool. Stevie Nicks, Dolly Parton. She's married, so I don't know if her husband works. So I don't know if they're a dink, but I know Stevie Nicks is just someone who decided not to have kids. And John Hamm decided not to have kids. Pedro Pascal decided not to have kids. There's a lot of people, really cool people who decided not to have kids. And it's okay. Jennifer Aniston. It's okay.
And they're not all celebrities. There's people in every walks of life.
Right. I just think that sometimes if you bring up celebrities, they're like, oh,
other people know them. Yeah. You say, oh, those people.
I could tell you John and Judy up the street. They won't know John and Judy.
That's true.
So, well, listen, we encourage you to embrace your lifestyle choices, whether you're a dink or not, by accepting each other's differences. It just makes the world a better place. And if it's their decision and they're not harming you, mind your own biz.
Mind your own biz.
Right?
Darn it.
Right.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody.
And watching, if you're watching.
Listening and watching. I'm just so used to saying listening. But now you can see us in living color here every time we come on.
Yeah, every week. If you're listening to this on Spotify, you can head on over to YouTube and watch it. But you don't have to either. You can just listen. That's okay too.
We'd love to expand on the conversation, so feel free to head over to our Instagram account, or IG as the kids say, at Arner Adventures, and let us know what you think.
Or over to Threads, because we can chat about it on Threads. We're new on Threads, and we'd love to continue the conversation over there. Yeah.
Our growth mindset just keeps us evolving in new directions.
That's right.
We're on the Threads, kids.